Hey, welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I like to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes, as well as everything else, like why our person is acting the way that they are, what they did do, what they're going to do. Those are important elements. But the issue a lot of times is not about, how our person feels about us. We know how they feel about us. We want to know why it looks the way that it does. We also want to know why we attract what we attract. And in order to break any karmic cycle that keeps us bound to a consciousness of disempowerment, well, we want to break those karmic cycles because inevitably anything that restricts us will keep us in a place of pain. We're spiritual beings, right? That's what we are. We're spiritual being having human experiences. And the human experience is all about the tests, the karmic tests that help us grow, that help us evolve. So when we're looking at the shadows, we tend to be looking at the more negative aspects of a person's psyche. But understand it's for the benefit of our own healing. That's why we do it. It's to integrate the spiritual lesson. Otherwise, we stay stuck in the karmic loop that keeps us bound to, again, a place of limitation. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you gotta like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out. It's the underlining energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. Kind of felt like that was a little redundant, what I was saying before, but again, I don't know why Spirit channeled that message. Maybe again, there's someone walking around that thinks that, they're supposed to be perfect, right? I mean, we're not down here, we're down here to learn. And all spiritual situations are that bring us closer to the light. Okay, so the underlining energy, believe it or not, is light, which is a positive energy. This is the higher states of consciousness, right? Light, love and light. When we're all light beings, and when we're a clear conduit for spirit to speak. Well, we again are light. We are of light. The thing is, the darkness represents the shadows, and those are parts of ourselves that we have detached from, parts of ourselves that we don't like, parts of ourselves that we rejected, because again we haven't learned the lesson, and so we keep perceiving that aspect of ourselves as broken, limited. So we tend to wear shadows in that places where we again are not, where we perceive that we're not of light. And anything that again is a persona that we create is not of light. We create that persona to be accepted, to be loved, because there's a perception that we can't be loved, that we can't be accepted. So again, the underlining energy is light. So I feel like you're connected to someone that there is a very strong spiritual connection. However, I feel like you thought that you would be in a relationship with this person. And I don't really feel like you're supposed to be in a relationship with this person. I feel like you're a teacher to this person. This person also taught you and helped you uncover certain wounds that would again pull out the trauma to make you look at it, to make you again become whole, more into light again, because every situation, every experience that the universe gives us is to help us, grow. But what are we growing into? Well, we're growing back into our original state of consciousness, which is light. So again, the connection that you have with somebody is mainly to help you to heal. So almost like a teacher, like I said. So I believe that there's a lot of different emotions that both you and this person have. Because first of all, you trigger each other. You make each other look deep within inside of yourself. And when there's wounds, it's uncomfortable, especially if that person is mirroring our wounds. Now, I don't believe that you reflect out the same way that this person does. We all have our own habits and behaviorisms that we form from the trauma. We can have the same trauma, but again, form different psychological and emotional imbalances that again play out as these karmic themes. So I believe that again, you're in a connection with someone that's difficult. It's a difficult relationship. It's one again that's like literally paradoxal, okay? It's pulling out the negative energies within you and this person. But there is love there because light is essentially love, which is of God, which is the energy of the universe, which is the energy that we're supposed to be when we're balanced and whole. All right. So when you are connected to this person, it's like, I feel like they were extremely exhausted. They were extremely exhausted, I believe, from a past relationship. They got out of a past relationship and they never took time to rest. They never took time to love themselves. They wound up again meeting you, getting swept up in the connection, again, the fantasy, right? Because they're very attracted. It's a soul relationship, again, so there is emotional connection. So again, this person's been depleted because they just got out of a relationship. And so they were just focused on the passion, the lust, and then not really having energy, I believe, to give this connection anything else. And then, feel like you were not happy. So there was a state that you actually, I feel like, felt a little like victim mentality because of this person not treating you the way that you felt that they should have treated you, especially after, you know, I feel not like triggering you, right? Again, when anyone's pulling out the wounds within inside of us, they're triggering us. Now, they may not be meaning to do that. So it's not so much that this person triggers, but they don't apologize. They're not nice about it. They don't want to acknowledge what they do because that would actually create emotional intimacy. So I feel like you never getting the emotional support that you need from this person, you tend to play victim because of it, where this person plays victim because again, they're weary from their past relationship. They want you to like be more compassionate due to again what they've gone through, but they haven't given you what you've needed. So I believe that both of you are actually weary because it's again overthinking creates a lot of emotion, which exhausts. Because it's like, well, I feel like you're supposed to act a certain way. Well, I felt like you were going to do more. Well, I felt like it should have looked like this. And when that's what I feel like you thought, because there is a soul connection, there is unconditional love. So a lot of times we tend to assume this person needed to take time out. It's again, and that's what I said about the expectations. You were felt victim because you had expectations that this person was going to act a certain way. I feel like after not giving you your time, and I want to see like, why didn't they give you time like before? It's like, why, like, what was the issue before? Because I feel like, again, there's an element of getting out of a bad relationship, self-righteous again. So I believe that again, yeah, that this person, they wouldn't let you really in before. And they wouldn't let you in before because they had very like self-righteous behavior. They like not letting anyone in by creating false judgments about them, having negative perceptions. I believe they had negative perception about you even. And that's because they don't trust people. And they don't trust people because of the relationships that the relationship that they just were in. First of all, they didn't do the healing that they needed to do. So unfortunately, they came into this relationship and they projected a lot. And when you again stood up for yourself, when you again were like, wait a minute, I'm not asking for that much. I'm asking for emotional. You're not like you're not being transparent with me. You're not really letting me in. I see that you're giving me minimal energy. That's really the energy here. It's again that this person was too tired to really give anything. They came into this relationship. They were out of that past relationship, but they didn't take time to heal from it. And I believe it was a very toxic relationship. So they're not very strong in relationships to begin with. And here it is, you're in a relationship with this person, they're not giving you enough. Like you said, so you had expectations of how you perceive that they were going to be based on, I believe, the spiritual connection. So when they acted self-righteous, I feel like that obviously closed you down. That was the boiling point for you because you're like, well, I feel powerless in this connection. I would like not, you're not budging, you're not giving in to me. It's like, and that's again, this person didn't do the healing. So they were again judging you, and they also had expectation. I want you to know there was a little bit of mirroring energy here where this person like had expectation that you were supposed to come in and fix them a little bit to heal them because they again didn't have the energy to give you, but then you should have came in and gave them. But I think that this person never gave you anything. They never gave. They're always the victim in their story, so they never, it's like, no, you need to prove yourself to me. So understand that what's really going on here is that this person, like, I believe that they stay in their darkness, right? It says in the dark, but I feel like they kept you in the dark, but that's because they don't look at what needs to be healed. They don't try to heal it. They just look like they get out of one connection and then they go into another connection, and the past connection was really not a good, it was a toxic one. It was one that required them to do some self-reflection, to do some healing, especially if emotionally they're not giving you, because all we see here is like your boiling point was really the fact that they were self-righteous from not really putting in that much energy where you're calling them out on it, because obviously you had expectations that they were going to do something within the the connection. I feel like even for some of you, like you might have even started to get a lot of readings, like became obsessed trying to figure this person out. Like you became consumed with wanting to know, because again, they're in the connection, but they're not giving you anything. So you're like, I don't know what's going on with the connection. And when I call them out on it, they become self-righteous. But again, Spirit says, yeah, but you kept yourself there. And when you keep yourself there, you become the victim, even though this person is the victim, because again, this person had was very dishonest with you. They didn't want you to be triggered because they really knew that they weren't ready to be in a connection with you, but they procrastinated for a long time. There was a sense of them sitting on the fence for a long time and being afraid to come towards you. And then, they had to make up a lot of lies. Why? It was hard for them to get out of their past connection. It's not that they didn't care about you, but I feel like they just felt that they needed to be loyal to that person, even though that person like trashed their life. I believe that they trashed their life or ruined their life or put it like Ben Damper probably took a lot of their money there again. Like it wasn't an easy separation. Let's just put it that way. And so this person didn't really want to share those aspects of what was going on in their life with you. So they lied a lot, and you had enough of it. You were like, because you saw it as deception. You didn't know why they were lying, But again, I believe, again, they were weary, they were tired, they came to you, they weren't ready to be in a relationship with you. And there was a sense that you were like not, you were already mad because this person should have gotten out of their connection a long time ago. They didn't get out of their connection a long time ago. They sat on the fence. They felt more bad for the person that actually, again, I would say, let's just call them the karmic, the person that they ended the connection with, than they did for you, because there was guilt. There was a lot of, again, these lower energies that bind a karmic mate to each other, that your person never really learned the lessons. That's why, again, they were flattened. So here it is, they're coming to you, but they're coming to you broken. They're coming to you without being able to. So you can see, again, you're seeing that they're dishonest, but they're dishonest because they're not disclosing all the information. And there it's, again, because they're coming from a survival mind. And again, you had enough of what you perceived as disrespect. And then when you call this person out on it, they were self-righteous. They became very defensive, and then projected a lot. And then in their projection, I believe that they, had a temper. I believe that they got angry because you're questioning them. It's like it's already a touchy situation. First of all, they already feel inadequate. The past connection didn't work out. They know that they didn't handle the connection with you correctly. They know that you're angry, or automatically overstimulation. So they have a bad temper because they're like, okay, I'm just waiting for you to say something else to me about how I, fucked up more. But I feel like it doesn't matter. You store it as dishonest, and that they kept all this person did was keep you out of everything. Like you weren't involved in anything, and that you didn't even care. This person didn't even care enough to ask your opinion, to help your advice. So I think what hurt you is, it's like, we could have created intimacy. We could have created a bond. That's something so emotionally you wanted so bad to be connected to this person, to feel like chosen to this person. And what this person did was they kept you out because they were embarrassed. They were embarrassed of what they were going through. They were like, that last thing I want is for you to be there and you telling me your advice. That I don't want you to look at me that way. It's like you're gonna look at me like I'm a failure about how I feel about myself already. And so this person, again, how you saw it is, it's like, you're not letting me in. So I feel like you kept trying. And again, that's what made this person angry. And then you're like, well, I'm tired of you getting angry at me for asking for what you should be giving me automatically. And here we see it again, expectations. We see it all across the board here. And I feel like your person also had expectations. Like you were going to cater to them, give them emotionally. You felt like that you were going to get them, again, come back and fix it. Fix what you did. And the way your spirit's saying, well, both of you have that wound. So both of you have that wound of not being chosen, of feeling not being chosen, of not getting emotionally what you need. And that could be support. This person wanted more support. It's like they came to you weary, they came to you tired, they came to you exhausted. No, they shouldn't have came to you in a relationship that way. Where, because it seemed like they had one foot in, one foot out. I want it, but I don't, because they didn't go through their process of healing, because they were afraid you were going to move on. So, and then here it is, you have expectations. So it's, again, what winds up happening is that you put you into a hermit mode and put this person into a hermit mode, actually, which pushed you both into healing. And that's where, when we were children, if we didn't have support, we wind up going into isolation because we are taught that we can't depend on anyone. So there was a sense of both parties retrieved because again, emotionally you didn't get what you needed. Like you needed to, how you really felt was, hey, you need to fix how you made me feel. You need to come in and prove to me and show to me this person's still in the headspace of their past connection and all the other baggage that from all other relationships. And here it is, you know, so we can see like why there's a lot of miscommunication because there's no communication. That's what we see here. So we have to go deeper because it's like what we see here is a lot of people getting in their own way. You're expecting this person to do something. This person needs you to do something for them. And both parties feel a lack. And that's the lack of support, the lack of emotional support, where spirit's saying you're mirroring each other, believe it or not. And you're like, yeah, but this person is like, well, what's happening is that it creates a lot of frustration for both parties because emotionally you're both still not getting. But there's a sense of wanting to, when meanwhile, this person like has a lot of passion for you. I want to hold you in my arms and feel our bodies unite as one. So again, imagine how much frustration and having expectation where both parties have expectation of both parties need, but there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of fire there, and fire is the only energy that transmutes negative energy, right? So when we really need to heal, when we really need to like integrate, so what we see is like the energy building and building. There's a fine line again between love and hate. Please contact me. I may not respond, but knowing you care opens my heart. Don't respond to them. This person we're asking what they really feel. And they're like, I don't want to do any work. It's like, I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't like, again, I still feel like you should reach out to me. And that's why, like, it's about everyone surrendering their ego, where this person was dishonest right from the get-go, and I feel like you were open right from the get-go, and that's why I feel like that's why this person needs to be the one that surrenders their ego, even though they're like, I'm the one that's going through a hard time, I'm the one that's tired, if you should be catering to me after what I just went through. You want a friendship, you should, again, all this expectation, where really, if they want friendship, they should again ask you for friendship. It's as simple as that. It's that this person doesn't want to surrender their ego. And I just feel like I said, you were already open to it. And so, if you contact them and then they know that you have feelings, I feel like this person would be like, okay, well, now I'm relieved of worrying about you moving forward in your life, so I'm going to sit here and procrastinate some more. Is why I say do not reach out to this person. It's like, if it's true, this person won't be able to hold back. It's like our union energy needs clearing. So again, what we see here is like no one's budging. You're in a Mexican standstill with this person, where they're like, no, I think that you should do this and this and this for me. And you're like, no, well, I think that you should need to do this for me, because you were the one that wasn't open with me. And then this person's like, well, I wasn't going to let you in on all my past. That's personal. I wasn't ready to let everyone in on that. It's like it wasn't information, especially you. It's like because they were afraid that you also would have, past, you'd have preconceived, a notion about how they would treat you, even if it was not true. It's like once a person can go that low, I feel like this person knows that they had a lot of behaviors that were not, they weren't of the best character. And so they didn't want you to know that. They didn't want you to know everything. And so they kept you out, but in that they really kept you out. So it's like, I can understand why you're like, I feel like you should be the person that comes back. This person's like, I'm wounded. So what spirit says is like, you're in a Mexican standstill, so your energy needs clearing. Repeat this with slow, deep breaths. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I'm grateful for you. So what we see here is again, you both have a very strong core wound of needing like love and nurturing and to be taught forgiveness, meaning you're both having a hard time forgiving, letting go of the past. So what's happened is that it's influencing other areas of your life. I believe for you, it is influencing your life, and I believe for your person, it influences their life. It influences their life, obviously, within relationships. With you, it could be within business, within work. You're seeing those spiritual blocks. Forgiveness, when we have a block of forgiveness, it blocks abundance. It blocks our heart. And how do we become abundant is to be of love, to be of the highest consciousness. And so what it is that, again, both parties had, again, that mirroring wound right from the beginning, where spirit says, oh, this connection is all about evolving back into light. It's like you both have shadows, and you have shadow because you need to, again, learn about forgiveness. Learn about forgiveness. And that's hard because, again, when we've been betrayed at such a young age, when we've been taught, again, that we can't trust at such a young age, then again, we have a false expectation of what other people should do for us. That's why we saw expectation throughout here several times. I think it's twice. There's I pulled only from 3 decks, and really, again, look, expectations. Like, so, came out in 2 decks. So everyone has expectations, and that's the thing. When it's unconditional love, there is no expectation, there is no ownership. So the irony is both parties have unconditional love for each other, but they both had a misperception of what they perceived unconditional love was, which again, both parties said, well, I believe that it's about you fixing things. It's about you giving to me. It's about you making me feel better, about you, again, giving me that solace. And spirit says that's not what unconditional love is. And so again, that we will become the spirit addicted, by the way, if we try to like figure out a connection when we're looking at it from like a lower state of consciousness, which is, I'm just looking at things from the physical realm and seeing that neither party is doing anything. It's like, it's frustrating because we say, well, why? And how can I change the dynamic of the connection? Really, if you want to change the dynamic of the connection, somebody's got to do something. I watch you on social media and on the internet is my way of staying close and finding out more about you. Again, they have intimacy issues. It's like, again, they're still connected, but they're not doing anything. So it's almost like they've created a karmic cord, because it's like, well, I feel like you should change. No, you should change. And then, but it's like, I still have feelings for you though. So there's this frustrating energy that I feel like is would build, where this person could just be honest and open up. Like, I'm seeing synchronicities like your name or 111 and working out what they mean. I feel like this person is like trying to figure things out. It's like they're terrified to really let you in on what has transpired in their past. Because again, you may have judgment. People have judgment. This person has judgments about people. So they think everybody is going to be like them. they would have to, you both have to get back to a place of surrendering and coming to a place of unconditional love if you want this to work. And that's by forgiveness. And then I need a drink and I have no drink. Okay. Let's see. Hopefully it'll go away. So let's see what this person, oh, let's see what this person, I didn't see those, what this person is going to do. What are they going to do? The alchemist. They're going to try and heal, I would say, because it's like they're going to use this opportunity, and the opportunity is you. It's like they have feelings for you. It's not like they don't. But what I see is happening is they're getting more and more uncomfortable with like no one doing anything. And it's like I feel like you just, like you said, stuck in this, Mexican standstill. And it's like the whole thing is that what they realize is that there is love. And love is the only energy that really can transmute like this energy, like again, when we have wounds of forgiveness, that's the biggest spiritual lesson of all, right? I mean, every single religion teaches it because again, it's such an important lesson, and it's about really learning to forgive ourselves. We have to forgive ourselves first, and then we can forgive others, and we forgive ourselves by doing what we need to do for ourselves instead of waiting for the other person to do what we desire for them to do. Understand, having a person that you love and like it makes you look at your behaviors when you get triggered by them. This person has love for you, you have love for them. You're really looking at the wounds. It's like because even though this person didn't have enough to give you, because they were weary, they were tired, they entered back into this connection without being able to give you enough. They did everything that they did because they love you. They were afraid you wouldn't love them if you knew everything. And that's a taught thing in childhood, again, where they didn't get the support. So, and either did you. So, again, what the behaviors are that we create to survive in childhood are the ones that a lot of times that take us down. They block our heart from thriving and really becoming abundant. So I love this that you pulled this card, because this person is like, well, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to create positive change, like, because I feel like shit with it being me being like in this limbo, and just again, just it pulled out all the wounds and just kind of left it there. Where it's like, I'm mad. No, I'm mad. Yeah, now we're mad. Now everyone's, it feels like, again, I never get my needs met. Okay, yeah, that was the wound. That's what both everyone feels. And Spirit says, what are you going to do with that? And this person's like, well, I'm tired of it just being connected. I wish I could just cut the cord from you, but I can't because I have unconditional love and you feel the same exact way. Warrior of light, use your passion to fight for what you believe in. And I would say again, the passion is what helps alchemize again the wound. And so again, what you believe in is to be true to yourself. What you believe in is to have like a balanced, equal, give and take, reciprocity relationship. But what you believe in is to be your own support, but in the fact that you are your own support, every single person that you're connected to that means something for you, you should also be a form of support for them too, because your support comes from the people in your life. So if you're not giving energy to them, and they're not going to give you energy back. And so it's about forgiveness. If you want forgiveness, well, then you got to learn to forgive. And if you want people to do for you and to give to you emotionally, well, you have to open up your heart and you have to give. And so what we see here is two people that needed to alchemize that energy. They needed to alchemize that block that was blocking their heart chakra, which is, no, I'm waiting for you. No, I'm waiting for you. I had expectations. You were supposed to be a certain way. No, you were supposed to be a certain way. And really, Spirit's saying this all stems from way before they met each other. This is a divine connection to again to draw out the wounds, to bring you back to light. However, understand you needed to learn forgiveness a long time ago because it's influencing your life. And so that's what really Spirit says. So we understand that this person, like, it wants to, they're stuck, and they're stuck because, but they have grand respect for you. They're happy that they met you. Understand that, but you make them nervous because there's a sense of that they don't really feel good enough about themselves. So I just feel like, this person wants things to be easy, but there's a sense that they always tend to run away from their problems. But you're the first person to make them feel this way. And that's really making them look at all the obstacles in their life. I mean, and the reason why is because they can't control themselves. It's like you're the first person on their mind when they wake up. You're the last person that they see in their mind. They know that you're their divine counterpart, and they're tired of these repetitive cycles that have kept them in a place of feeling like they can't have love. It's like, and they can't control this. So it's almost like, but what it really comes down to is that the spiritual lesson that needs to be like be learned in order to really have this connection work is what needed to be done, which both parties have a huge problem with. They have a block in forgiveness. And like I said, we wind up wearing we become protective of ourselves, and we say, no, I don't want to forgive. If someone we feel like hurt us purposely and then continued to hurt us purposely in childhood, where they just didn't care about how they made us feel. They didn't care about how what their actions like had consequences for us. Then understand it's hard for us to forgive because that's a severe childhood wound where we're almost like taught to like close down our heart to protect ourselves, because we were taught that we can't trust a parent, we can't trust like a sibling, we can't trust someone that we're really supposed to be able to have a strong, intimate connection with. And intimacy is not about just having sex, it's about trust, being able to be vulnerable, like major trust, where both parties never had that. That's why your person was like, I'm not going to tell you everything about what happened in my past. It's like, so what? You can judge me, so you can use it against me? You're not going to care. They're going to have self-judgment about me where you might have never acted like that. But this is what this person was taught. That's what they've lived. That's their level of consciousness. For you, you're just looking at, well, you should be like, it's making me feel better. And so when you break it down like that, both parties really look like imbalanced, where it's like why you guys need to be like comforting each other, since there's unconditional love where both of you are like retreating, which is what you guys wind up doing when you were children. You withdrew because, again, there was no support. So again, it's about that emotional support. So we go down, I consider that physical touch, that it's like, right, feeling emotional support, making us feel loved. That element of childhood was wounded. And that's the second chakra. Again, it runs individuality, trust, passion, individuality, balance. Again, all those elements, all those spiritual elements need to be healed when there's a second chakra in balance. And I believe that spirit brought this connection into play because there was a huge spiritual block of, again, of needing to let go. Well, that's a root chakra issue, needing to let go and having anger and resentment, and because again of things that happen from ancestral karma, family karma, that influenced your unique individuality, who you perceive that you are. So Spirit said you needed to find balance. You find balance through your unique individuality, but also through your passion. And so what happened is Spirit brought you this person that does represent passion, but again, having a big spiritual block that blocks the heart of, because needing to forgive, needing to let go. It's again where Spirit says that shouldn't be there. That's again, that's a shadow. And so, and then being stuck in a Mexican standstill where you both have expectations of each other, neither one doing it, eventually Spirit says, eventually you guys are going to exhaust yourselves and surrender to find that spiritual equilibrium. But understand that this person's not going down without a fight, neither are you. Because you both were taught in childhood, oh no, I'm going to protect myself. And I believe that you really, Virgo, are like, no, I believe that this person needs to like come back and apologize and do whatever. And I don't really care what they went through. And there's a little bit of like harshness that Spirit says that you gotta, that's what needs to be healed. And maybe again, that's how people treated you, that they weren't forgiving towards you. They were like, I don't care really what happened. It's like, I don't care whether you're sorry, the damage is done, right? Again, usually children are taught that they can't be vulnerable because they were taught that they can't make mistakes. And so they learn not to apologize. They learn not to be vulnerable. They learn not to be compassionate. And so these are the spiritual wounds that need to be integrated. That Spirit says all that is again not, when we are not going to be compassionate, when we're not going to forgive, when we're not going to be vulnerable, when we're not going to be transparent. Well, again, then we're just ego, and God says that's not me. That's not unconditional love. That's not the energy of you when you are perfect. When you are perfect and balanced, you are just love and light. That's all that you are. It's again, but this needing to like, need to control. So Spirit that like had put you in this relationship again, so emotionally, both parties are starving for it, want it from each other, but don't know how to get it from each other. Where really it requires both parties to surrender their ego and to use, again, your imagination for something more than fear. Again, if you can imagine it, you can create it. So it's, again, letting go of those traumas of the past by creating new memories, new experiences, by doing something different. When we embody a new consciousness, we can see, we can imagine new scenarios playing out, where really Spirit's saying it's like the way that you have to, again, you have to become it, to embody the energy. It's again, that's the way that you're gonna get joy. Joy is through, again, doing what you love, becoming what you love, giving yourself the emotional support that you need, and stop having expectation of what love is supposed to look like or do for you, because love is not that. Love is just, it just is. It doesn't logically make sense. And that's what your person is almost, and you, both you and your person are stuck in that logic of, well, if you really love me, then it would look like, and Spirit says, that's your perception. My puppy is going nutty. I don't know if you hear her. So we're going to end this off by saying what the energy that we can integrate into this, or what is the energy that we could do to help us surrender more to, again, just seeing, because Spirit says you won't, like when you surrender, you're, you find spiritual equilibrium. And when you find spiritual equilibrium, you're balanced. And so, but to a lot of times find it, you need to again balance yourself by again incorporating joy, giving yourself the emotional support. And you can do it again by embodying it. So you can imagine it or imagine it. And again, by having a vision board and then putting yourself out there. My whole perception of why Spirit says this is because when we have trauma where people never show up for ourselves, and that's a real wound, then it's like we almost like wait for it, we look for it, and we see what we look for. And so Spirit says you really have to create new experiences of happiness, of joy. You need to fill your own cup up to emotionally fulfill you. Then you don't expect anything from this person. Then, when there's no expectation, you will see what this person's love language is. And what you would see is that you would be pleasantly surprised. It's actually the expectation that creates a lot of like unnecessary anxiety because this person is insecure. And then it's also unnecessary anxiety for you of, is this person going to do it? Are they going to do it? They never do it. They never show up for me. And so that it's the expectation that needs to be. And that's because, hey, you both grew up in environments where those expectations, those needs or perceived needs were not met. Your person's wasn't, yours wasn't. So it's about forgiving, but forgiving first yourself for not giving yourself. Then you can forgive everyone else. And then you'll really come to a place of spiritual equilibrium. And so Spirit says it's all about the divine fruit. As I work to improve and free myself, I strengthen my foundations. Again, that root chakra, again, foundations. Who am I? My connection to the world, my connection to God, what are my connections? I free myself from the perceptions of my limitations. My intellect is light, my heart is warm, and my soul is strength. I am nurtured by the divine sun. The fruit I bear reflects my inner light. So it's again, your inner fruit is your gifts. So you feed your gifts. And again, a lot of times, you can feed your gifts by sharing your gifts. It's about when you bear your gifts, that's what you're actually doing. And really, what Spirit's saying is it's not about the connection, it's about the focus back on yourself, on your divine fruit. This connection helps you to improve yourself, but it helps you improve yourself by freeing yourself of having expectations, of having perceptions of what things need to look like. And you do that by strengthening your own foundation so that you don't need anything, so that there's no need or desire for the relationship to look like anything. And that your own intellect is again, which is your own knowing, and your own knowing should be that again, everything happens in divine order, and that it's your own self, your own, how much you pour into yourself that really is going to be like what is the fruit that you bear, and that you want to share share that light, and you want to share that light with other people so you're emotionally getting fulfilled. It was more about that than again looking at your person and saying, hey, you need to do this for me so that you make me feel fulfilled. Spirit says, no, you again, it's your own divine fruit. Otherwise, you're always going to look for the answer outside of yourself, and you're always going to attract a person that has expectations of you, and you never getting what you need emotionally, because that's been the karmic cycle, when really it's about your own divine fruit. And we again find our divine fruit by, you know, by by pouring into ourselves, by really healing that first and second chakra, like saying that's what the wound thing was, not having the support. So creating the support through the things that are going to bring you joy and happiness and help you connect to the higher self, which is unconditional love, so that you become that energy of that. Not to mention, you're teaching every single person that comes into your life and that deals with you that you are always fulfilled within yourself. You pour you fill yourself up emotionally, so you don't need that from anyone. And when that really is what makes you attractive. That makes you, again, where person then doesn't have the need to become what they think that you want them to become, because then the relationship doesn't last, which is what I feel like has happened in this person's past relationship. It's about, again, letting them unfold, have the relationship unfold naturally and organically, where you both find each other's love language and you learn to appreciate each person's love language, and you do for yourself. So you're always fulfilled. So you don't really need it. All right. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope that you guys resonated with that, Virgo. I know that that was kind of a long-winded end. Sometimes that happens. If you resonated, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.